So as you take a comfortable seat, I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably and to start to focus on your breath. And notice how your body's feeling. And yes, we were talking about things you're going to work on, but noticing, what does your body need right now? Right? Kind of exploring that and thinking about how you want to feel when we are complete with practice today. And setting your intention. And my intention for you today is that you breathe fully throughout the whole practice. Breathe with your movements and notice your breath. So when you're ready, after you have set your intention, I'm going to invite you to start to move the body in a gentle circular motion. So keeping your butt on the ground, just starting to take your body around in a circle. And so you're going around in small circles and you're noticing how does it feel in your low back as you're moving. And then after moving a couple of times in one direction, moving in the other direction. And just to get an idea of what's happening in the low back today and the lower part of your torso. And then as you feel done with that, we're going to stretch out those legs if you have them crossed and find your tennis balls, and we're going to place them so your butt's going to stay on the ground, and then you're going to place the tennis balls in front of your sit bone so you're not sitting on those tennis balls. Do you want to hand Anthony? Oh, they're there. Okay. All right. So, and then move your hips front to back or your knees side to side. And what we're trying to do, you're trying to notice the connectors from your thighs into your pelvis, and not to hurt them, but to start to gently loosen them up. And if you don't feel any sensation, like you can't feel the tennis balls, you might straighten your legs a little bit. If you feel too much sensation, you might back off and bend your knees more. Now, after, and you might move the tennis balls in and out a little bit so that you're getting different parts of your connectors. And when you start to feel complete with that, we're going to come over to the side, and where I want you to go, and this is going to be an exploration, like in so much that we do. So you're going to start at the top, kind of the top of your hip, and then I want you to see if you can roll, so where I want to go, across the top back of your pelvis, right? And so I'm using my feet and my arms to not have all the pressure on the tennis ball. Right? Does that make sense? For those of you who know what your piriformis is, that's what we're going for here, and so it's kind of runs along 3/4 the way up your glute. Well, it depends on your body type, right? Feeling good?
No.
No? Now, and you can, of course, stop and not do anything that you do. It's always your choice. When you feel like you've explored that side enough, we're going to come to the second side and try to do the same thing. And I see some grimaces. So what can you do besides throw the tennis ball at me that would feel somewhat good here, right? The idea is to not cause your body harm. And you're still breathing. I mentioned breathing, right? So notice, you might pause for a moment, take a breath, see how it feels. again, as you're exploring, you may be done with this very quickly, and others may want to stay longer, so it's your exploration. The next thing I want to do, the second to last thing, is to go right into the center of your glute with the tennis ball on one side, and then using either block under your elbow or your hand, allowing your body weight to settle into the tennis ball. And sometimes, and you've probably noticed this as you're using the tennis ball, it feels good to not move, and other times it feels good to move around. So kind of see what your glute wants today. So if it hurts, louder?
My glute wants to run away.
If it hurts, don't do it.
Not use the tennis ball?
Yeah, absolutely. And what you can do, you can use like just a corner of the blanket so that you have a little something, something, and you might use nothing at all, right? Like you might just, and you could also massage with your hands. If that's, like, sometimes that's too much work for me, and the tennis ball makes it a little bit easier. But yes, you do not have to use a tennis ball. You can use something softer. I strongly recommend nothing harder than the tennis ball. Okay, so when you're done with that side, we're going to do the second side. I don't want to scare you away.
Now we've been thinking about it for weeks. Shall I go to yoga?
So as we're going through this, we're gathering information, like how is your low back feeling? How are your glutes feeling? Now, whenever you are done with this side, so we want to do both sides evenly to the best of your ability. So whatever you've done on one side, make sure that you do the second side. And then the final thing we're going to do with the tennis balls here is to sit up and then place the tennis balls at your low back. And you decide how close or how far away you want the tennis balls to be, and we're going to come back. And some of you might bend your elbows, some of you might come down onto your elbows, and then just gently move your knees side to side, or move your hips side to side, right? So we're wanting to reach the low back area to the best of our ability. And then don't worry, we're going to get rid of the tennis balls. Although tennis balls are our friend. Okay, so when you start to feel done with that, we're going to take those tennis balls out of the way. Carefully get yourself down onto your back body. And then with your feet about hip width apart, I want you to start to move, like I want you to shift your weight from left to right and gently move the knees. So again, feeling the back of the pelvis on the floor. And we'll come to a place where we pause, and then we're going to tilt the pelvis, tilt your pubic bone up on the inhale, tilt it down on the exhale. And again, we're not lifting the pelvis off the floor. You're keeping your pelvis on the floor and just moving front to back. Notice what you use, like are you using your feet, are you using your body? What helps you to tilt that pelvis? And some of us have more tilt than others. You're just noticing how your body tilts. Now again, eventually we're going to come to a place where we stop, and let's bring that right knee in towards your body. And you might hold on to the front of the knee for a breath or two, and then we're going to take that knee in a circular motion. Again, a couple of times in each direction, noticing how that hip flexor's feeling as you move. Eventually coming to a place where we stop, and we're going to interlace the fingers on the back of the thigh. Inhale, you're going to straighten your leg, press your foot up towards the ceiling, the back of your thigh into your hands into your thigh. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. So inhale, you press up, straighten the leg, you feel the back of your thigh in your hands. Exhale, knee comes in towards the body. And no rush, just noticing how it feels in your body as you're breathing and moving. Make sure to let that thigh come away from your body as you straighten. Now, next time that your leg is straight, you're going to continue to breathe, and we're going to point and flex the foot and roll through the ankle. Again, a couple of times in each direction. On one of your exhales, allowing that knee to bend, and we'll take the right foot to the floor. And in your own time, bring in the left knee, again, holding the front of the left knee, continuing to breathe, noticing how it feels on this side. And then whenever you're ready, starting to take that knee in a circular motion, a few times in each direction. Eventually coming to a place where we pause and interlacing the fingers on the back of the thigh. And again, inhale, press up with your leg, the foot's flexed, like you're trying to lift the ceiling, you feel the backs of the thigh, the back of the thigh in your hands. Exhale, bring that knee in towards your chest. Moving with your breath, again, exploring like, as you're extending, what's happening in your leg, what's happening in the low back, what's happening with your breath. Now the next time, again, that your leg is straight, you're going to continue to breathe, pointing and flexing the foot, rolling through the ankle a couple of times in each direction. Eventually coming to a place where we stop moving the foot on the exhale, bending the knee. And this time we're going to keep our left knee up in the air. We're going to grab onto the right knee as well. So both feet are off the ground. And then holding onto your legs in whatever way feels good, we're going to take the knees a couple of times in each direction. And I want you to notice what you feel in the back of your pelvis as you're moving the knees in a circular motion. Coming to a place where we pause and then carefully placing your feet on the ground one at a time. I want you to find a block, or if you're at home, you can use a folded towel or pillow, small pillow. And we're going to hold that block. So now your feet are about hip width apart on the ground, your knees are bent. You have the block between your knees or your thighs, whatever is comfortable. Arms are down at your sides. And on the inhale, I want you to start to lift your pelvis up. So you're holding on to the block. You're going to inhale, lift the pelvis up. Maybe your chest follows. Exhale, come down to the ground. Moving with your breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come down to the ground. So your feet are on the ground. Your knees are bent. And you're starting to lift your pelvis on the inhale. Exhale, bring it down. And as you're lifting up that pelvis, how does that feel? Can you lift up your chest? Does your chest open up as you're here? You can use your arms to assist you. Now, next time your pelvis comes down to the ground and you've exhaled, we're still holding on to that block between our knees. And I want you to see if you can disconnect your feet from the floor a little bit. So you're holding on to the block. You're going to see if you can get the feet off of the floor. You might bring your arms out to the sides.
And here, we're gonna inhale while we're in our neutral position. Exhale, you're gonna reach your knees over to the right hand. So there's a little bit of an angle going on. Inhale, come back to neutral, and then exhale, second side. So again, you're feeling the back of your pelvis on the floor. You're gently reaching the knees towards the hand. You're pressing into the center, holding on to that block. Inhale to the center, exhale when you move side to side. Now, next time you finish your second side, we're going to take the block out, carefully place your feet on the floor one at a time, rolling over to your side, using your hands to help you sit on up. How are we doing? Just getting warmed up. All right, then I want you to stretch your legs out in front. You could have a little blanket under your pelvis if that feels better for you. And we're going to bring the left foot into your inner thigh. If your knee is up in the air, you might place a block or a blanket underneath. Let's take that right hand to the outside. We're going to reach up towards the sky with your left hand. Inhale as you're up here. Exhale, you're going to start to come forward. And what I want you to think about, can you keep your arm and body in a line as you're coming forward? So a lot of times we like reach down and kind of bring our chin towards our chest. But can you start to reach at an angle, like towards the pinky toe side of your foot? Inhale up, exhale, reach forward. And notice, like, does your butt come off the floor? Try to keep your butt on the floor. How does that feel through your rib cage, your side body, your armpit? Right, one more time. And next time you come up, we're going to take both hands now onto your thigh. And so that time we're coming down at an angle. This time you're going to come straight down your leg, right? So inhale, body up, exhale, slide the hands down and your body towards your leg. And you're going to move with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling, sliding down. And you might notice that taking out that angle really feels a lot differently, at least in my body, I assume in your bodies as well. Now, one of these times when you come forward, we're going to stay forward for a moment and take a breath or two. And again, noticing how your body feels as you're here and you're breathing. Can you breathe fully? Then on one of your inhales, we're going to slide on up and we're going to take that knee that's bent and point it up towards the sky. And just notice as you take that foot to the ground, like what happens in the hip, the low back. We're going to take the left hand behind us now and press into the ground. So we want our spine nice and long. And again, reach that right arm up. Inhale's going to be here. Exhale, we're going to reach towards the outside of the knee with our hand or our elbow. Start to bring your belly towards that inner thigh. Take the other hand down.
Myself all confused.
We're doing the same side knee.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Oh, two moves on the same side. Long, smooth breaths. So how does it feel to breathe in this twisted position? Take a nice big inhale and exhale. And next time on your inhale, let's lengthen the spine. Exhale, come forward. We're going to straighten out that left leg, bring in your right foot. And again, if your knee is up in the air, you're either going to place a block or a blanket underneath for support. We're going to keep the left hand down on the ground. extend that right arm up. And again, this is the one where we're gonna try to keep the arm and the body in a line. Inhale up, exhale, come forward as one towards your pinky toe. Inhale up, reach at that ankle. And I didn't say this on the other side, but if it's too much, if there's too much pull, you can have your arm down and just reach the shoulder and not the whole arm. Now, next time you come up, we're going to relax that arm and turn towards the front with our body, both hands on the thigh. Inhale, body up. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale up, and exhale, slide forward. So moving with your breath, noticing how your body's feeling as you move. Next time that you inhale up, we're going to take that right knee and again point it up towards the sky. And notice, when you press that foot into the floor, what happens in your butt. And then we're going to take the right hand behind us, reach up with your left arm, nice big inhale. Exhale, hand or elbow to the outside of the knee. Keeping your spine nice and long as you're bringing your belly towards the inner thigh. While you're here in this twisted position, let's take a nice big breath and notice how that feels. What's going on in your rib cage as you take that big breath. And then on one of your inhales, lengthening the spine, exhale, coming forward. And then as you come forward, we're going to bend both legs, have your feet on the ground. We're going to see if we can get the ankles and knees closer, touching one another, arms down at your sides. And then the inhale, we're going to reach the arms towards the sky, open your knees out. Exhale, knees together, arms come down. And just moving with your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Oh, I see you've got a wedge too. Have you used it before? What?
I just keep doing it opposite.
Just think, inhale, open, exhale, close. Maybe. Okay, next time after you exhale, we're going to relax for a moment and just take a pause. How are you feeling? How's your breath doing? When you're ready, we're going to come up to standing, and I want you to think about what's the best way for me to get on my feet. Right, so go ahead and make your way up towards standing. And then let's find our tennis ball for just a moment. And we're going to roll that tennis ball under one foot. And know that whenever we're doing our standing poses, so we're going to do some balancing stuff while we're here. If it's more comfortable or safer for you, find your way to the bar in the back of the room or a wall, or if you're at home, you can use a chair. Second side. All right. So again, after you're done rolling through your second foot, we're going to move that tennis ball off to the side. And what I want you to do, so you have your feet about hip width apart, we're going to turn the toes out for a moment, and I want you to feel, so we don't usually, I like have you keep your feet pointing forward, but I want you to notice what happens in your hips as you do that. We're going to take the hands onto the thighs, and if your knees want to bend a little bit, definitely let them. Hands are on your thighs. You're going to inhale up, exhale halfway down. And just notice how that feels as you're doing that. We're going to do it one more time. And then when you come up, I want you to turn your feet forward, or you do that same thing. And I want you to notice
if it feels the same or differently, right? Inhale up, exhale forward. On your next exhale, we're gonna come all the way towards the ground into a nice deep forward bend, hands on your legs or on the floor or on the blocks. And again, noticing how you're feeling as you're here. Now, when you're ready, we're gonna step back with the right foot into a nice deep lunge. And if you'd like to have blocks under your hands, go ahead and put them there. All right, and the feet are about hip width apart. Nice. Now, in your own time, you're going to isometrically pull your legs towards one another. Bring those hands up onto your thigh, possibly. Nice. If it feels okay, you're going to reach those arms up towards the sky. Now, on an exhale, in your own time, we're going to bring the hands to the floor. Those of you who have your wedges, this might be the place where you use them. And we're going to take that front foot and reach it up towards the sky. Okay? So a three-legged down dog. When you're ready, you're going to inhale here, exhale, sweep that foot forward again. Nice. And when you come forward, you want to make sure your knee is over your ankle. One more time, we're going to take that front foot and reach it towards the sky. Nice. Again, on an exhale, sweep that foot forward. Then we're going to step forward with your right foot. Bring those hands onto your legs for a moment. Then we're going to walk the hands forward. So you're walking your fingertips forward, and then see if you can get your arms in line with your ears maybe, and you might have a bend in your knees. And some of you might bend your knees a lot. We're going to inhale, reach forward, and come all the way up. Exhale those hands to the ground. Take it back. That was a lot of work, huh? Maybe just for me, I don't know. Okay. Inhale, let's take those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward into your forward bend. We're gonna, again, bring those hands to the blocks of the floor. Step back with your left foot into our nice high lunge. Got him anything. Okay. So again, that front knee is over the ankle. You're going to isometrically pull the legs towards one another, hands onto your thigh. Find your placement here. So you might leave your right foot forward more, Anthony. Yeah. Breathe and focus. Maybe extend those arms up towards the sky. Oh. It's okay. You stay in your own little world. On an exhale, whenever you're ready, this is where you're going to take the hands down to the ground and bring that front foot up towards the sky into your three-legged down dog. Breathe and focus. On an exhale, sweep that foot forward into your high lunge. Find your place. And again, in your own time, we're going to take that front foot, reach it up towards the sky. And this time, whenever you're done, instead of sweeping that foot forward, we're going to come down into a down dog. Option here would be tabletop. And then pedaling through your feet, so bending one knee, taking the opposite heel towards the ground. And then in your own time, we're going to inhale forward into a plank or up dog, and then back into down dog. Option could be tabletop to child's pose or puppy pose. Right, so finding that place that works for you. In these positions, we're looking to stretch the whole torso.
without putting too much pressure on our wrists, so noticing how you're using your hands, how your breath is moving. Always options, so tabletop to child's pose, or plank, or up dog into down dog. Now next time you come back, whether you're in child's pose or down dog, I want you to feel like you're lengthening your spine, stretching your back body. And then in your own time from here, we're going to make our way into a forward bend. So if you're in child's pose, you might come to tabletop. If you're in down dog, you might hop or step your feet forward. Some way we're going to get ourselves into a forward bend. And one more time, walk those fingers forward. See if we can get those arms in line with our ears. Maybe bend the knees, and on the inhale, slowly make our way up towards the sky, exhaling hands to the heart center. Woo. How's your breath? How's your heart rate, your body temperature? Now we're going to take the weight into the left foot and come up onto the right toes. And I just want you to pivot. Your hands can be at your heart center, on your hips, out to the sides, whatever helps with your balance. We're just going to pivot through that leg. And again, notice, how's that feel? Can you even feel it in your hip? Right? Where do you feel sensation? And does your pelvis move as you're moving the leg? Right? And we're going to eventually take that foot to the ground, shift your weight to the right, up onto the left toes, and start to pivot through the leg. So your foot's on the ground, possibly. You could have it up in the air if that is a preference of yours. All right, again, when your knee comes forward, we're going to take that foot to the ground, weight in the left foot. We're going to lift up your right knee, and this is where you might want to grab onto a wall. Now we're going to roll through the ankle a couple times in each direction. Breathe and focus. And then with the foot flexed, we're going to try to take the lower leg in circles a couple times in each direction. Breathe, keep breathing. Now eventually we'll come to a place where we pause and place that right foot down on the ground. Shifting your weight, finding your focus in your time when you're ready, bending that left knee, and at first rolling through the ankle a couple of times in each direction, continuing to breathe. When you've had enough of that, keeping the foot flexed, and then rolling through the lower leg. Even just noticing you can get your body to listen to you when you tell it to do this, right? Eventually coming to a place where you place that foot down on the ground. And then with your hands at your sides, feet are still about hip width apart, comfortable distance. We're going to inhale, your arms up, exhale into a little chair. Inhale up, exhale down. If it doesn't work with the arms, you can keep the arms on your thighs. Now next time you come down into your chair, you might have your hands, arms out in front of you, your hands on your thighs. We're going to shift the weight onto the toes, lift those heels up off of the ground. What's happening in your torso, in your core? Breathe and focus. Heels come down to the ground on the inhale, come on up. We're going to take the weight into the left foot, come up onto the right toes, turn that knee out, and then slide your foot up the leg. And here, you want to be above or below the knee so you're not putting pressure on your knee. Hands to the heart center. Breathe and focus. Some of you might start to extend those arms up towards the sky. Some of you might keep them down on the ground. Some of you might have them out to the sides, right? You're finding that place that works for you. Last piece, if your leg can handle it, we're going to contemplate lifting that left heel up off the ground. And remember, you don't have to do anything. Okay? Eventually, heel comes down, hands to the heart center, knee forward. foot comes down. Now I just want you to walk through your feet, because for some of you that might have been a lot on one leg. Just noticing how that feels. Weight into the right foot, come up onto the left toes, turn that knee out, slide that foot up to a comfortable place, hands at the heart center, breathe, and it's, for many of us, it's helpful to have a non-moving spot about 1 meter out in front of you on the floor. Maybe you want to extend those arms up or open them out to the sides. You're finding that place that works for you. Breathe and focus. Then if you choose, you might explore lifting that heel off of the ground, the right heel. Breathe and focus. And just notice, even as you think about it, what's happening. And then possibly it disconnects from the ground 1 millimeter. Or not. Eventually bringing that heel down to the ground, knee forward, hands to your heart center. Feeling your feet on the ground, and just pedal through your feet for a moment, stretching them out. If it's safe for you, I want you to come to the front of your toes and just stretch the front of the foot. Keep breathing. Second side. Nice balancing today. Huh? No? I'm getting some interesting smirks. Okay, from here, feet flat on the ground. We're going to come down to the ground. And again, some of you might like to have a little blanket under your pelvis, some of you may not. Looking to be in a comfortable seat. And we're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, possibly knees open out to the sides. No falling. Now from here, I want you to bring your hands behind you, and that's mostly for support and balance so that you don't drop back. And I want you to gently wiggle your knees up and down. And notice if it's a lot of work, if it's easy, how that feels. Eventually we'll come to a place where we stop wiggling those legs. We're going to bring the right hand someplace onto your right leg or foot and extend that leg out to the side. And just notice, like, how's your balance here? You could have a strap here. You could be holding your thigh, your calf, your foot, whatever works for you. Breathe and focus. Now, with this foot, I want you to bring it forward and out. Right? And remember, you can use a strap, you can hold onto your leg wherever it works. Now, next time your leg is out to the side, we're going to bend that knee, place that foot flat on the ground, not flat on the ground. Touching the other foot, shifting your weight, because notice, how do you shift your weight? Because now we're going to extend your left leg out, and your sides could be different. You know, one side might be easier than the other. And just noticing what's happening. Notice your posture. Keep breathing. Hold your leg wherever it's comfortable. Use a strap if that feels more comfortable. And again, we're going to start to bring that leg to center and out. Charlie first? Okay. Again, next time that leg is out to the side, we're going to bend the knee. Now this is where I want you to check and make sure you don't have anything dangerous behind you. If, when we try to balance, you feel like you're going to roll, make sure you round your back, you know, because the next step might be to take your feet off of the ground. And now, remember, you can keep one down, and we're going to extend one leg. Bring it in, and then extend the other leg. So breathe and focus. Remember, you can hold the thigh, the calf, the foot, use a strap, although that would be interesting, having a strap on both legs here. Now, you could explore the possibility of taking both legs out, finding your balance. Some of you might bring them in and out. And remember, you're making it work for you, right? So whatever feels good to you. Now, eventually, we're gonna bend those knees, bring the feet in, down to the ground. Take a breath. I felt like some of you were holding your breath while we were doing that. Now, again, we're gonna bring those arms behind us and lengthen your spine. We're gonna keep the left knee down on the ground, and you're gonna bring the right knee over top. We're gonna take that left foot underneath and bring it up onto the outside of your right ankle. Right? And you're kind of shifted to the side now, and one buttock, for many of us, will not be touching the ground. Okay? Now we're gonna take your right hand, it's gonna come to the top of your left thigh, kind of squeeze underneath it. Then you're going to take that left hand and start to walk it around behind you. You're opening your chest to the left, using your hands on the ground. Now some of you will take that left hand and start to wrap it around and reach towards your right hip. Find your balance, your breath, opening up your heart center. On the next inhale, releasing your arms, lengthening your spine, coming back forward. You'll uncross that foot, lift your knees up, and then switch your knees over to the right. And again, you're going to take that right foot on top of the left ankle. You're noticing your shifted position. We're going to take that left hand, bring it around, across the body, up under or around your right thigh. And then you're going to take that right hand behind you and start to open the chest towards the right side of the room. Some of you will start to walk the right hand around your back body towards the left hip. Finding that place. How's your balance here? How's your breath? Opening up your chest. Nice big inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you sweep around, bringing your hands to the sides, lifting your legs up. From here, I want to come down onto our bellies. So if you'd like to have a blanket under your hips because they're uncomfortable on the ground, feel free to open up a blanket underneath you. You're going to make your way onto your belly. Now, for this next pose, you can be up on your elbows, like in a sphinx position. You can be down on the ground with your forehead on your hands or your forearms. And at first, we're just going to bend the right knee and bring that heel towards your butt. Just kind of noticing how it feels, relaxing that foot to the ground, bringing up your left foot. And again, gently placing the left foot down on the ground. Now is when it's going to get interesting. So we're going to bend your right knee, and you're going to press down with your right thigh as you lift the left leg up onto the top of your right foot. And it may seem challenging because you've not done this position before, but you're going to think about the possibility of getting that leg up onto the foot. Keep breathing. Notice what's happening in your torso and your breath and your hips. When you're ready, we're going to gently allow the legs to come down to the ground. Relax for a moment. We're going to bend both knees so that the bottoms of your feet are pointing towards the sky, and gently move your feet from side to side. What's happening in that low back and your pelvis. Stopping at a place where your feet are pointing towards the sky. We're going to keep the left knee bent. Extend that right leg down on the ground, and again, pressing your left thigh into the ground, you're gonna lift up the right leg and place it onto the left foot. Keep breathing. You might have one side that's easier than the other. Breathe and focus. Whenever you start to feel complete, allowing the legs to gently make their way down to the ground. Relaxing for a moment, and then in your own time, bending both knees and possibly reaching back with your hands, bringing those heels towards your glutes, or you can keep your arms on the ground and just let the weight of your legs reach your heels towards your legs. No forcing. Gently releasing your ankles. We're going to take the lower legs so that they're perpendicular to the ground and the bottoms of your feet are pointing towards the sky again. And gently move your feet side to side. Coming through the middle, relaxing your legs. Now I want you to pause for a moment. Ask yourself, does your body need anything else before you're making your way into Shavasana? When it does, go ahead and do that now. If you're feeling complete, then you're going to think about what position you want to be in for Shavasana, knowing that our temperature is probably going to drop a little bit, so if you want to put socks and sweatshirts on or whatever you have with you, you can go ahead and do that. And if you're not sure about a position for Shavasana, you feel free to ask. So it's any position where you're generally like prone on the ground. You can have your legs supported by a bolster or a folded blanket. You could do legs up the wall. Shavasana? Corpse, yes. Oh, yes. So as you start to get yourself in that comfortable position, check in, is there anything else that would help you to be a little bit more comfortable here? Allowing yourself to be completely supported. Softening your eyes. The back of the throat, allowing that to soften and the muscles in your face. as you're ready, always in your own time, taking a moment to notice how you're feeling in your body, in your mind, how your breath is moving. Maybe you can recall how you wanted to feel after practice today. And then as you're ready, gently reawakening. Wiggling, stretching, moving in whatever way is most inviting in this moment. Now, eventually, making your way up to a comfortable seated position, and remember, it doesn't have to be cross-legged. And then I'm going to invite you to do a breathing practice where your hands are open on your legs or wherever it's comfortable. Inhale is going to be when the hands are open. Exhale, I want you to touch the thumb to the index finger. Inhale, open. Exhale, touch the thumb to the middle finger. Inhale, open. Exhale, touch the thumb to the ring finger. Inhale, open. Exhale, thumb to pinky. And just going in that manner, no rush, gentle tap. When they touch, it's kind of the pause between inhale and exhale. Now, next time, after you touch one of those fingers, relaxing the hands and noticing your breath. And when we do a breathing practice like that, just notice what happens for you, if anything. And so thinking about where you're at right now and how you're going to move into your day. And then if you'd like to join me in making some sounds, we're going to inhale those arms up towards the sky. Exhale the sound Q to your heart. Inhale, open the arms out to the side, palms forward, exhaling ah to the heart. And inhaling as you scoop all around and up from the earth, the sound Om to your heart. Taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up and for doing practice. The hardest part, I think, when it comes to practice is showing up for yourself. And so thank you for being here in person and online, and thank you to all my teachers, past and present. And I acknowledge the unceded lands that I live and work upon. Namaste.
Namaste.